4 tips to fix weak erections. As men, none of us like experiencing weak erections. So in this video, I'm going to share 4 hard truths. See what I did there? 4 hard truths, 4 tips that you can start using and understanding to be able to fix weak erections. The first thing is that it is really important to understand there is a big difference between weak erections and consistently struggling to get or stay hard. Okay, big difference between those two things. Let me start with weak erections. Variety in our erections is totally normal. Every single guy experiences a variety of hardness, of quality in our erections. This is normal. What are some of the factors that influence that? Things like our diet, what we've eaten the day before. Did we have a night out partying? Are there other things on our mind? Are there stressful situations going on? There is almost an infinite number of things that can impact our erection quality. And so, first of all, understanding, before we get into the 4 tips, understanding that it's normal to have variations in our erection quality. If you are experiencing consistent difficulties with either getting or maintaining an erection, then I will also be speaking about towards the end of the video how to overcome performance anxiety, and I'll put a link to the performance anxiety quiz in the comments. You can see that below. So what are these 4 tips to be able to fix a weak erection? Well, number 1, porn. Porn plays a significant contribution to our erection quality. If over time we have started watching either more extreme types of porn or different types of genres that are quite specific or niche, it makes sense that when it comes to real life sex, it would be a bit more difficult to get turned on because our brain has been used to being getting stimulated by experiences that we don't have in real life on a day-to-day basis or that we don't replicate. This can range from anything to threesomes, group sex, to whatever it may be, but you get the idea. If it is the type of sex that really is not how we would be having sex on a day-to-day basis, that is one thing that can absolutely lead to experiencing a weaker erection. So, what do we do there? Well, number 1, my first remedy for that would be to quit porn, okay? To quit porn. I understand that is a journey in itself, but at least starting with reducing the amount of porn that we're watching, or to change genres to something that replicates, I know it may not feel as exciting, but something that replicates the type of sex that we're having on a normal day-to-day basis. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2, and you know what prop I'm going to bring out for this one? The handy cucumber. I'm glad that I caught that in the right way. So number 2 is the pattern of our masturbation. Things like stimulation. So are we squeezing really tight, or are we going really fast when we're by ourselves solo? These types of things, the way that we're stimulating ourselves, if that is then not what our partner is used to doing, because let's face it, generally when we're meeting people, squeezing really tight or masturbating really fast, being jerked off very fast, these are not the usual kind of practices that we would expect or know that our partner would like. We have to learn these things, but at the same time we also have to apply some caution, because if we're doing things in a way that is difficult to replicate, we're training Mr. J. Johnson to not be as excited when it comes to time with a partner, because our partner's not doing it in the right way, or they don't know how to do it properly, or it doesn't feel as good. We come up with all of these excuses, but the reality is it's about the pattern in which we have trained our body, and that can in itself lead to absolutely a weaker erection when it comes to real life sex. Let's move on with tip number 3, sleep. Okay, not one that we often associate with erections, but especially morning erections. A great book on this that I've mentioned before, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. It talks about the link between sleep and morning erections. This is really important. If we are not setting ourselves up for a quality night's sleep, which for most of us should be between minimum 7, but ideally 8 to 9 hours, which you may be thinking, what? 8 to 9 hours? That's impossible. We have to find a way to be able to get quality sleep in our life, or else we can expect impacts, whether it is increased stress, increased anxiety, but absolutely impacts on erection qualities. If you're waking up thinking, why don't I have morning wood in the way that I used to, or if you're experiencing weaker erections and getting 4 or 5 hours sleep a night, this will be playing a factor. It may not be the only factor, but this will be playing a factor in erection quality. Prioritizing getting a decent night's sleep is really important. It's an important step to be able to fix a weak erection. Before I come on to the fourth one, if this video has been helpful so far, in the bottom right hand corner, you will see a button that says subscribe. It's a little red box. Click on that button so that you can get the latest brand new videos and tools as I share them and get more tips like this. Okay, number 4, exercise. I know some of you may be watching this thinking, oh my God, why? I was waiting for this to come up in the video. Let's just take a moment to talk about why this is really important. Whether it is walking, going for a jog, going into the gym, Kegel exercises to work our pelvic floor. I'm talking about any form of exercise here. Why? Because it gets our blood moving freely around our body and it keeps our body alive and healthy. This is a really important part of being able to have a quality erection. Let me explain it in a way that's a bit more serious. The number one reason for loss of erection quality, the number one reason above everything else, is related to our cardiovascular health, the health of our heart. Why? Because it's about getting blood freely flowing around our body. That's our heart's job. As we age and we stack on top years and years and years of either poor dietary decisions, sedentary lifestyle, or giving up on working out or giving up on exercise because we think I can't be arsed now, or my body doesn't feel how it used to anymore. What happens? Plaque builds up in our arteries and it restricts blood from being able to freely flow around our body. This is actually the number one cause for erections losing their power over time. So for us to be able to get that power back, we have to work out, we have to exercise. It doesn't have to mean 2 hours every single day in the gym, but this is about at least 30 minutes of some walking, speed walking, jogging. This is a really important step, okay? But something that is simple and doable for you. Please do not think that I'm saying you need to go into the gym every single day, get a personal trainer. If you're doing these things, great, fantastic, keep on doing that. But if you're watching this thinking, ugh, I've heard about this exercise thing and I just, it's the one thing that I just really find it difficult to motivate myself to do, start with something that is possible. Go for a walk for 5 minutes today, 2 minutes, build it up. James Clear's book Atomic Habits is a really good book on how to start a new habit when it's been difficult in the past. Okay, Atomic Habits by James Clear. With all of that said, those 4 tips on how to fix a weak erection, let me come back to what we said at the start. If you are experiencing consistent challenges with being able to get hard or stay hard altogether, it's generally mindset based as opposed to medical. Sometimes it's medical, but in my experience, mostly it is mindset. So we should always go and get a testosterone and bloods check anyway. If you've already had that done, or instinctively you're feeling like this is a mindset thing because I see the what if questions looping around and around in my mind and I just want to stop the overthinking, then I've developed something called the Performance Anxiety Quiz. This is a free quiz. It's 10 yes or no questions that you answer that will show you, is this performance anxiety or is it something else, and how to start getting it fixed. If that sounds good to you, then head to the comments below. You'll see the link to the Performance Anxiety Quiz. When you click on the link, it will take you straight to the page where you can start answering the 10 yes or no questions, and you will then see your score. If that resonates, head to the comments now, click on the link, and I will see you at the quiz.